Welcome to day 6. This is Mrs. Giroux. Today I introduced line, our first element, very important, and we talked about thinking like an artist. You'll find that video on Pinterest in Unit 1, line. It's called Think Like an Artist. It's a really good video I want you to watch. We reviewed the board information, which gives us the definition of line, which basically is an element of art to define shape, contours, outlines. It can also suggest mass and volume. It may be a continuous mark made on a surface with a pointed tool like a pen or pencil, or it can be implied by the edges of shapes and forms. We had a lot of new vocabulary for some people. The first word we're going to go with is outline, which are lines made by the edge of an object or silhouette. And contour lines we're going to be talking about later this week. Gesture lines are today, which are lines that are energetic and catch the movement and gestures of an active figure. We'll also be talking about sketch lines, calligraphic lines, and implied lines. You may need to look those up. All right, we looked at several Pinterest videos on the Unit 1 line, and we practiced gesture figures. I'm going to show you some examples. We talked about human proportion. I'd like for you to look that up since you missed the discussion. What human proportion is, basic human proportion. We practiced more gesture action figures, and then we shared our best examples. Okay, so I'm going to go up to the board. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in to our poster online. Okay, that's what it looks like. Gives you all the different examples. Definition. Types of line. Contour line, all types of line. Very, very important. Okay, now I'm going to go up to the screen. Okay, and so the first thing I had everybody do was to draw a stick figure, a basic stick figure on a white piece of paper. Everybody draws them pretty much the same. The next one, step 2, is to thicken up another figure. So don't draw on top of number 1, draw beside it. So your paper will look very similar to these red figures I have on the board. So you're just thickening it up just a little bit. Then the third step obviously is a little bit more challenging. You're adding what really is there. And I want you to draw a little circle every time a body part bends. So your neck, your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist, your hips, your knee, your ankle. I think I got everything. So there's a little circle connecting those. And when you get really good, you're going to make the thigh oval a little bit larger than the calf oval. You're going to make the bicep oval a little bit bigger than the forearm oval. And we practiced this quite a bit. Okay. Then we tried to make them in action. Okay. One of the proportions we talked about was if you were to hold your arm, or standing up tall, hold your arm straight down, your middle finger would touch about the middle of your thigh. Okay, and that's a good measurement to remember. But when you look at proportion, you'll see a little bit more than that. Again, we practiced many, many gestures. They tried to draw them dancing, running, basketball, covered all that. We looked at this poster on drawing gestures, and it's kind of scribble-scrabbly, so we tried to draw them very, very quickly. And these are really great examples of gesture figures. And they look like scribble-scrabble, but can't you see what the gestures are? Almost looks like the shot put there in the middle. Okay. We looked at some examples of gesture types of or style of drawing, but it's an inanimate object like a bicycle. Here's a 3D example in a gestural way, and you can guess that that is a horse. Okay. Again, we practiced our figures. We tried to draw them very quickly. We drew probably about 3 or 4 sheets of action figures. Okay, figures that are in action. Don't forget your piece of poster board was due. That is a requirement. You're trying to get your portfolio taped on the sides with your name on it. I'll put your name on it for you and tape it if that's a problem. And this is where you're going to be turning in work for grading. And over here we have how we started out and the purpose. Discovering the various types of lines in art. Why are we doing that? Because lines are very, very important. They can help us determine the mood, the direction, like an arrow. They can provide emphasis. If you bold a line, you know that from your computer, it will make it stand out. Okay. Also, lines can create textures. They can make an outline. They can draw in perspective, show you that something is further away. By doing this, the drawing is going to help your hand-eye coordination. It stimulates the brain, but it's also going to help you discover that you can draw just about anything with a little bit of focus. Okay. And how are we going to do this? Through many discussions, videos. We've got a resource book, PowerPoint, which is on Pinterest, Unit 1, demonstrations, practice, 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 experiment, practice some more, and project at the end of the week, which is on line. It's a project-focused line. You'll have 2 projects that are due at the end of the week. Okay. And over here, as always, we have our topic, which is Unit 1 line. Okay. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Okay. Once again, this is week 2.